You're listening to the New York Sports Show, the #1 all New York sports podcast. Hosted by Dominic Konareski.
Hello and welcome to the New York Sports Show, your #1 all New York sports podcast. I'm your host, Dominic Konareski. Right now, the New York Yankees are a pure dumpster fire of a team. If you look up dumpster fire on Google, you'll find a picture of the New York Yankees. Most likely of Aaron Boone, as he is just a total joke and a true embarrassment of what a manager is in the baseball world. Right now, the New York Yankees are in the middle of a 4-game series set. Over 3 games played, the Yankees have won just one of the games, so they trail the Boston Red Sox in that series 2-1 overall. Tomorrow they could win it and end up splitting the series overall. But that does not mean they're out of the woods yet. As right now, the New York Yankees are nowhere close to first place in the American League East, and frankly, they're nowhere close to making any kind of playoff spot. Nowhere close to a wild card berth, nothing like that. Right now, the Yankees sit with a 51-46 win-loss record. Just, 5 games above 500? That is not good at all. And you know what? It would be totally different, but the fact is, this team has been inconsistent, and the bullpen has not been there. The New York Yankees have a solid starting rotation. It's definitely not the best in baseball, but you know what? They have a very solid starting rotation. But they do not have an offense, and they do not have a bullpen. That's the biggest thing. The bullpen has blown so many games. It's really unbelievable. And frankly, it's sad and it's a joke in a way. I don't think a team has blown that many just possible save attempts in that many games in general until you look at the 2021 New York Yankees. So, I did a math for you guys. Why? Because I'm a good guy. And you know what? The Yankees could make the playoffs. Very easily, in fact. And all it takes is just, I would say, a solid performance. Okay, they don't need to excel, they don't need to stand out, they just gotta play solid baseball. Overall, they have still a lot of games left, and I mean a lot. When you put it into series, though, there's not that many series left, especially against American League East teams, there's not that many series. And you know what? The Yankees could make the playoffs, so let's talk about that. So right now, the New York Yankees, if they do end up splitting the series with the Boston Red Sox tomorrow, they'll move to being 52-46 in the win-loss column. After that, they play a 3-game series against the Tampa Bay Rays. The Yankees need to win at least 1 out of the 3 games, going 1-2 in the series. With that, they would be 53-48 in the win-loss column. And then after that, they go up against the Miami Marlins. Now, the Marlins have really owned the Yankees the past few seasons, surprisingly, even though they've been a mediocre team at best. The Yankees need to sweep the Marlins. That would advance them to being 56-48. After that, 3-game set against Baltimore. They gotta sweep Baltimore. And then a 4-game set against the Seattle Mariners. They gotta win at least 3 out of 4, winning the series. They would be 61-49 up to this point. And then they play a 3-game series against the Kansas City Royals, and then a 3-game series against the Cleveland Indians. After that, if they sweep the Royals and then overall lose the series, lose 1-2, they would be a total of 65-51 in the win-loss column. And then they just play a one-off game against the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. They gotta win this game, and I'll show you why later on. Okay, so they would be 66-51. Bada bing, bada boom. Another set against the Boston Red Sox. 3-game series set, they gotta take 2 out of the 3. So they would be 2-1 in the series, 68-52 now. And then a 4-game series set against the Minnesota Twins. Now, the New York Yankees have owned, and I cannot stress that enough, they have owned the Minnesota Twins in the past several seasons and even decades when you look at the win-loss record. They gotta sweep the Twins. They cannot afford to lose the series. They cannot afford to just win the series. They gotta do the sweep-a-woo. Okay? So with that, that would make them 20 games above 500 with a 72-52 win-loss record. So right now, the Yankees are doing great. 2-game series against the Braves, split that series 73-53. 4-game series against the Oakland Athletics, have them go 75-55, split in that series. And then the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. Bada bing, bada boom, sweep-a-woo. 78-55 now in the win-loss column. And then you go up against the Baltimore Orioles, another sweep. Come on, they're the O's. Yes, the Yankees have really played up and down baseball, inconsistent baseball with the Baltimore Orioles, but I do think they will end up sweeping the Baltimore Orioles once again. So with that, they are now 81-55. And then they do a 4-game set against the Toronto Blue Jays, another American League East rival. I do think they will split that series some way, no matter what, series will be split. Then they would be 83-57. With that series, Yankees secure themselves finishing above 500 in the win-loss column for this season, which I think right there is a win based on how they've been performing recently. If the Yankees could get up to that point, then I'll be happy. But we're not talking about just barely finishing above 500. We're talking about a playoff spot. It's the New York Yankees, damn it. They're made to go in the playoffs. They have a roster to make the playoffs. There's any consistency on their side. And heck, throw in Marcus Thames being a fighter and Aaron Boone just going to how to be a decent manager school, and the Yankees may actually put things together and make the playoffs. Okay, and then they go up against the New York Mets after the Blue Jays series. The Subway Series. Who will be the team in New York? Right now the Mets are Yankees, where they want to be like, no, you're not. So with that, they gotta win this New York Mets series. 2-1, 3-game series set. That would be a huge morale booster. And then they go up against the Baltimore Orioles again. Another sweep, 88-58. Cleveland, 3-game series against Cleveland. I do think the Yankees will be swept. So the Indians sweeping the New York Yankees, 88-61 now in the win-loss column. And then the Texas Rangers, not the Texans. Well, you know what? If the Yankees were the New York Jets, we wouldn't even be making a playoff prediction right now because the Jets would be nowhere close to the playoffs. The Yankees don't want to be the New York Jets. The Jets are the bottom feeders right now of the NFL. The Yankees are trying to avoid that and still be relevant. So, Texas Rangers, bada bing, bada boom, sweep for the Yankees, 91-61. Boston Red Sox, they lose that series 92-63, 3-game series set, 1-2 in the series. Toronto Blue Jays swept them 95-63. Tampa Bay Rays, 3-game series set. I do think the Yankees will win that series. Two out of 3 games, going 2-1 in the series. That's a 97-64 win-loss record. And then at some point, they do play one makeup game against the Boston Red Sox. I do think they lose that game, so they will end 97-65 in the win-loss column. Now, when I was talking about the LA Angels, just one-off game before, I have the Yankees winning that game. If they lose that game and then lose that one-off against Boston, then this changes the whole field. Fact is, Yankees won't be winning the American League East. That's either going to be the Boston Red Sox or the Tampa Bay Rays. The Yankees are going right now for a second wild card spot. And no matter what, they will be playing up against the Boston Red Sox or the Tampa Bay Rays. Whoever doesn't win out of those two in the American League East, the Yankees will be playing against them in the wild card game. And that is without a doubt. Okay, both of those teams are dominating. Both of those teams are one of the top teams in the American League. Okay, it's set to happen. The Yankees need to win around 95 to 98 games to get that second wild card spot. That's just how competitive the MLB is this season. I have the Yankees winning right in the middle, 97 games, 97-65 in the win-loss column. I think it's going to be tight, but I think it will be possible, and I do think the Yankees will be in the playoffs. Whether they advance from the wild card spot and go to the ALDS from there, who knows? It's really hard to say. At this point, I don't want to say, hey, I'll be fully happy this will be a completed season if the Yankees finish above 500 or even at 500. The Yankees have a playoff team. They sure spent the money for a playoff team. And I do think they will make the playoffs. Comment down below what you guys think. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'm your host, Dominic Rescue, the New York Sports Show, and I'm signing out. Peace.